In the past year, I did something I had never done before. I walked. Over 14 months of COVID, I clocked 4,500 miles or about 7,200 kilometers. On an average, I clocked 16 plus kilometers a day, wearing out not just several pairs of sneakers, but also my resolve more than once. The focus was to walk in safe seclusion. In the pandemic world, of course, distance has become more prized than proximity. As a result, I ended up exploring numerous byways, abandoned golf courses, trails in my town through the different seasons in the American Northeast. My reasons for walking were simple. No travel, for one thing, thanks to the lockdown. I have spent a better part of my working life on a plane, or as my family jokes, living in airports. As the head of global business services and enterprise transformation for Wipro, I lead a team, a diverse team of about 15,000 colleagues across 40 nationalities living in 22 countries, which means that I'm constantly on the move. And here I was, completely grounded. Overnight, transforming businesses digitally, which was a day job for us, became more a matter of transitioning 60,000 plus employees to a work from home setup, one that ensured that they had the right working infrastructure while maintaining stringent data security and time-sensitive results that the clients continued to expect. The world had stopped thanks to the pandemic, but not the universe of business and technology services. Suddenly, results or deliverables that one had usually measured in millions of dollars had come down to a microcosm of factors which had never even existed in our realm before. Our in-office employees now needed new ultra-secure laptops and high-speed internet connections at their homes, ensuring compliances for select local travel to move both people and desktops in the midst of strict curfews, or even finding laptops and parts and organizing installations of high-speed connections of broadband at homes through institutional tie-ups in this new homeschooling and working scenario was near impossible. But the team prevailed. It took a lot of drive, innovative thinking, and God knows, many 20 plus hour days. What worked for us was quick inventiveness, coupled with well-oiled set of systems and patterns that we were able to put in place quickly. So yes, the madness works only when there is a method to it. Now, I have been a technology and business services practitioner for over 2 decades. This is an industry that has been at the forefront of designing, building, implementing some of the latest in technology, artificial intelligence, machine language, etc. Like, for instance, a camera that can scan your blood sugar levels without the needless needle pokes, or an RFID arch that can calculate the total dollar value of the content of your supermarket shopping cart as you walk through the arch and directly, debit your bank account. Or even that AI-based curation of Netflix movies that all of us are used to watching, which is created based on your viewing patterns and preferences. So yes, in so many ways, we are impervious to technology. We no longer notice it. How digital transforms our life is a given. And by extension, its failure, when it happens, is spectacular and in pinpoint focus. And interestingly, that is where the lessons lie. Despite the occasional or many failures, it is natural to credit technology with the starring role in the expanse of digital transformation. Oftentimes, strategic decisions and investments in technology are driven by this very rationale. As a business leader, and that is quite an easy trap to fall into. I was reading this recent survey of directors and CEOs which emphasized this very reality. 70% apparently of all digital initiatives do not achieve their goals, which means, think about it, of the approximate $2 trillion that is spent annually on digital transformation, $1.5 billion goes to waste. The truth, however, is that digital transformation is last about technology. It is people first. Process follows. Technology only enables. And maybe, this failure story will emphasize how true this is. A while ago, we bid on and won a huge project, parts of which were clearly beyond our scope of immediate capability, and there were short deadlines. So why did we commit to those timelines, you might ask? Was it overconfidence? Not really. More like business considerations and the hope that we would be able to bootstrap, and a belief that we could bring in more experts, fly in the troops where needed. But things didn't go well for us. Quite the opposite. The project ran into numerous snafus and time overruns. Deliverables were messed up, and in many cases, we didn't do a great job of communicating it properly either. Of course, the client was not happy. And as the face of the company, I heard words like, "Krishna, you let us down," or "We trusted you guys on this." And you know what? They were absolutely right. On the other hand, I was also dealing with a very disheartened team who had really slogged over this project with nothing to show for it. But when the outcome fails, we don't think about the effort, do we? The process does not get its due, and that is what needed to be corrected. So we set about fixing just that. As a team, we made the commitment to the client that we would correct the missteps ASAP, but also took a very firm stance on what was reasonable and what was not achievable in the time given. Finally, I also addressed the most important part of the equation, the people. In an open and honest discussion with our clients, we underscored the team's relentless work on this, the night outs, and how the morale had taken a hit, even if we had messed up on the deliverables. And they listened to us. And guess what? The angry client dissatisfaction and the potential loss of business actually turned into a refresh and reset exercise, including a heart-to-heart session with the clients, where they thanked the team for all that they had done. Sometimes you will need to know when to say yes, and in the same breath, what to say no to. That said, there will be times when you have to create solutions, even if you don't have the answers. Make a leap of faith, if you will. This was proven in spades when we received an exciting mandate that initially seemed impossible to deliver. We were tasked with creating a repository of geospatial data for several technology companies, or very simply put, build interactive maps that all of us use to find the nearest coffee shop or the gas station on our phones. The team who would create this needed a unique set of skills. They had to be good at geography, working also with large chunks of data, therefore analysts, and also know how to write code for it. And this combination of skills didn't really exist in the marketplace. So what we couldn't find, we set out to build. We trained, researched, and we enabled it. And then we took it further. Given that interactive mapping was here to stay, we made a call to create a formal curriculum that could be taught at colleges as a subject of study. The result was that, having tied up with a few colleges, within the next few years, we had over 2,000 skilled professionals, which brought even more scale to this capability. This entire initiative became obviously a great industry level example of innovation at scale. And for me, of how doing it smart always beats being merely right. As automation becomes even more pervasive, it's a given that human work will continue to become less routine, requiring the tech to be highly dynamic and agile. Of course, technology makes the world predictable, easy to manage, comfortable, and convenient. Now, people are a different breed. As a professional, the one thing you learn early in your career is how to work with people. Business schools and training will show you how to operate in teams and lead them. Ways to communicate, negotiate, understand behavior patterns, archetypes, etc. These are valuable tools, but the truth is that you cannot really say that you have learned. Working with people, it is a process of perpetual, lifelong discovery. I remember this when I first visited China on business many years ago. I was blown away, impressed with how far-reaching the NFC technology was when I paid a street vendor for an apple using my phone. This is well before any major city in the world offered cashless transactions. Google Translate got me places and led to many fantastic, if rudimentary, conversations with the locals. In one of those sessions in our company office in Dalian, after a long day of team meetings, I asked the mostly all Chinese team if they could point me to a restaurant that served vegetarian food. In the rapid-fire animated discussion that followed, none of which, I confess, I understood even a word of, I braced myself for another visit to the same fruit vendor to buy maybe a few cherries this time for my dinner in addition to the apple. But that was not to be. That night, I enjoyed a most delicious dinner at a vegan restaurant with the entire team, who chose to accompany me for the first meatless meal of their lives. An act of kindness and courtesy that I am never likely to forget anytime soon. Yes, people will surprise you. And by the same token, people relationships are pivotal to successful teams and outcomes. Often as organizational leaders, our default mode is the belief that we need to lead with mastery. If I'm your boss, I should be able to do your job better than you, right? But that is a fallacy that has been turned on its head numerous times. I think leadership isn't so much about knowledge as it is about insight. It is about catalyzing the teams to self-succeed. Don't forget to connect with the team members on a personal level. So, surround yourself with people better than you. Trust them. Empower them. Let them do their job. Win-win. The reality in organizations is that even with the best compensation or work environments, people will move on if they're not thriving. Emotions will also guide key career decisions as much as, interpersonal relationships, often built over casual interactions, cafeteria breaks, and a shared ride home. But right now, in the virtual office environment, there are no water cooler conversations, are there? The question a lot of us are pondering is on the future of work, or the future workplace, if you will. WFO, work from office, WFH, WFX. While we continue to work from our apartments and kitchens, we wonder, do we need the commute? I do believe that we need the office workplace to work from. Of course, with the flexibility of working from anywhere. The physical workplace has the ability of humanizing a work model when everything is suddenly so distanced and transactional. And there is a desperate need to restore connections and ultimately relationships. Business will always be about relationships, making digital a human endeavor. So, as much as I enjoyed walking and look forward to it every day, the "you can do it" messages on my phone and watch actually worked in motivating me, especially when my energy was flagging and all I wanted was a cool drink and a bed. I've had to rethink my sanity going out on bitter sub-zero cold days and got stuck in the rain more than once. Life will throw you unexpected twists and turns, and even some happy accidents, with some redos and makeovers. That much is inevitable, no matter how sound our choices. Today, I'm fitter and calmer than I have been in many long years. And while I wish I had done this earlier, there are really no undos in life, are there? It's a zero-sum game. We are better off embracing the chaos as long as we know our whys. And finally, it's not about what you do, but what you stand for. Or, in my case, what I walk for. Thank you.